that's a me thing too. Because at the end of the day, like, I've never been a great person with emotions. I'm not a great person when it comes to kind of describing my emotions, and I've also never been a great person, I think, going into detail about how I feel about something. Like, things have to be really bad for me to be kind of explicit in that kind of way and say, like, yo, okay, look, this happened, and this is exactly what happened, and this is the time it happened. So normally I'm very much that person that just says, like, oh yeah, today was not great, or I just say whatever, you know, I'm really tired today, and I just kind of mask it behind that kind of stuff. So I think, like, one of the things that I've had a hard time dealing with after 2019, which is still something that I haven't quite figured out the balance, is it really feels like if I don't talk about it, I feel invisible. And if I feel invisible, to some extent, it makes it feel like nothing ever happened to me. And that's where I was really careful, I think, to some extent, because at least when it originally happened in 2019, like, I would still randomly stream, but I was in such a bad headspace where, like, people would come in, and I'll be really honest, like, I was, like, crying all day in bed. Like, after it happened, like, it was really, really bad. And if I felt like, okay, like, I needed to do something else different, you know, like, let's try to randomly stream or something today, people would randomly come in, they have no idea what was obviously going on, and they would say, like, yo, Dave, how you doing today? And then I would just, like, literally fall apart. There were so many times back then where I would feel like, okay, I don't know how to answer this question, and it makes me feel not necessarily uncomfortable, but, like, I just don't know how to answer this question, because it's literally making me feel like I need to cry. So I made the decision, which is kind of an edgy one, I think, to mention it on a social media platform where I would say I have a sizable following. But at the same time, like, I didn't necessarily want to open the door and be like, okay, guys, like, this is what happened in my life recently. Everybody can just have, you know, like, a vantage point here, and this is what's going on. So I've been vague in mentioning it, but I've at least given myself a voice to kind of talk about it, because I feel if I don't talk about it at all, again, I feel very, very invisible. And that's something that I still struggle with, because it just literally feels like if I don't talk about it, it never happened. So I'm definitely one of those kind of, I think, mentalities where, like, I have to verbalize and I have to explicitly express, like, this is what went on for it to be, like, real. And that's probably, again, like, a messed up perspective, but that's just how I've always been. I can't, at the end of the day, have a conversation with somebody and say, like, yeah, I feel sad today, and that's the reason for it. Like, it just doesn't work. Like, I literally have to break it down and say, like, yo, man, my dad died today, this is what happened, and give, like, an actual, tangible excuse behind why I feel those emotions, because otherwise it's just not possible, and it just doesn't work that way, I think, in my brain. But I've never had that kind of mentality, so... ship. Dang. Damn it, dude, look at this again. Like, maybe I should just be talking about emotions every single time. What is this shit?